welcome back everybody. My name's Andrew and you're watching the Kelly's Country Life. And today is a continuation of us putting in the tongue and groove pine ceiling. So I've got the rest of my lumber poly-coated, dried, prepped, and ready. But we have a little bit of a dilemma to figure out here. What you can't see because it's so dark in here is, well, every piece of tongue and groove meets the next. It makes a ridge or a line, a V. So now I have to figure out, whenever I start making my runs here, I need them to perfectly stop and make a V transition right here. So when you're standing out in the room, I don't want all the lines to be mix match. Say on this run, you know, they're running perfectly like this, and then the next groove, the lines don't match up with this one. Same over here. So what I'm most likely gonna have to do is take some very accurate measurements and then rip this first piece right here, trim it down, so as I stack more and more pieces on, eventually one will stop perfectly at the end here, and I can put a long piece to wrap around the corner and match up with what's going on over there. I'll explain once we get that figured out. Also today, I'm getting a little bit of help. My father, he keeps offering to come over, so hey, you know what, we're gonna let him come today. He's gonna run the saw out here, cut and bring me boards so I can stay on the lift. I should be able to work so much faster that way, several times faster, not having to get off and on. So hopefully we fly through a lot of this stuff today. All right, so now I have this cut to the correct length. Problem is I need to rip down 1.5 inches off of this. And out of all the tools that I've had over all these years, I just don't have a good table saw. So luckily my father is bringing his over today, so we're gonna use that in just a little bit. But after some quick measurements, I determined 1.5 inches off the bottom, moving this closer to the wall, will make these V's stop perfectly with the other ones. At least that's what I'm hoping. All right, so this board right here is bowed out in this direction, and it's very difficult to put a lot of force on here. That's why you see me wedging, blocking up in here, and using a crowbar. But typically, a lot of people install tongue groove pine straight over trusses or wooden purlins like this, and not over the blocking that I put in. And there's a technique that my friend showed me that I want to show y'all that may save you a whole lot of time if you're not using the furring strips like me. So a lot of people have these here welding clamps, and if you'll actually adjust it to where it'll clamp right up on this board right here. Now you can see that I have a relatively large 1/8 of an inch gap, but since that's clamped on now with a one-hand operation, look at there, I can push forward and close that gap completely up. Allow it to open back up, push forward. So that's a good little tip and technique that'll save you from basically having to have two hands with a crowbar and blocking. All right, so check this out. Man, what a difference. A lot of echo back in the room now too, which that should tone down once we get some furniture, area rugs, things like that. Wow, that looks so good. It looks beautiful. And I know a lot of y'all were questioning the green. Again, the camera still doesn't show the proper color of green. It's a little lighter than you're seeing. But man, does that look so good with the wood. All right, so you're probably screaming at your phone or the computer going, hey, whoa, you're not done at all. Look at this huge area. Yeah, that's a little frustrating. So when I ordered all this tongue groove from the company, it's got a disclaimer on the website. Hey, due to, splits and potential problems with some of the wood that you get, maybe knots and just issues, it says order 10% above what you need for your project. Well, I ordered 25% more than I needed for my project just to cover my bases. And I told myself, hey, I'll have a lot left over that I'll use on some other projects that I already have in mind. So if you look right here, I've got quite a few pieces stacked there. I've got a lot of pieces stacked over here. Actually, this is a huge bundle, really. A lot in there. And I have quite a few more, like at least that much more out in the shop. So long story short, I'm finding blemishes everywhere. The biggest problems that I'm finding is it looks like fork truck damage. I wish they handled this stuff a little better and I would have what I need right now to finish. But now I'm gonna have to spend a day sanding these boards down, trying to sand the blemishes out so I can use them, polying, clearing them, letting them dry. So it's gonna be several more days before I can finish now. So this is a lot of what I'm seeing. Jet black, rough, scraped material. It's everywhere. All in this lumber. Some of them just have really bad splits that you can't even see on the camera, and it's no good. That's to be expected. So the majority of that stack over there is just scraped up lumber. I'm convinced it's the fork truck arms, the way they're handling this stuff. Man, there's got to be some like a starboard material or even cardboard they could slip over the forks to handle this stuff to avoid all that. So I can finish my project, because I'm not driving all the way back to Alabama and I want this stuff to match. Like I said, as soon as this cold front gets by, I'm setting up a bunch of sawhorses, gonna go to sanding and sanding and sanding. Think I can sand all the black blemishes out and then poly and clear. And I'm just gonna have to sort through the last of what I have. I should have enough to finish this, that won't be a problem. I'm just not gonna have as much left over as I thought to use on other projects. A lot of this I'm just gonna have to cut up and scrap, unless I have at least, a couple good feet, then I will save it for some projects. All right, so to wrap this video up, one thing I was so excited about doing, and I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyways, see how dark it is in here? I wanna see what this place looks like with lights. So I could go ahead and install every single light now, with the exception of This one up here, I'll just put a wire nut on the hot wire, and then I can turn on 7 out of 8 lights in here, actually light this place up. So that'll be nice because I may come out here and do some work throughout the weekend when it's dark at nighttime. I still got a ton of trimming, other stuff to do as well. So let's go ahead and pop a few lights in, see what it looks like. So I've had a lot of people ask me about these LED lights, and I'll make sure to include a link in the description where I got them off of Amazon. But some people ask, can they go and replace old can lights? They can. They come with these spring-loaded clips right here that go up into your old can lights if you would like to replace them, and then pull these flush to the ceiling. You can mount them straight to, I think, round or even square junction boxes. And if I'm not mistaken, I think you might be able to just cut straight through sheetrock and mount them too. Voila, and just like that, we have the light. We'll do that 6 more times, so we'll turn them on. All right, so we have 7 out of the 8 lights installed. You're about to see them on for the first time with me. Exciting, exciting. Here we go. And I have these on a dimmer, so let's see. Oh, wow. What a difference. Check this out. Oh man, this is so nice. So we still have 1 more to put up, and the fan that we'll be installing also have a light on it. So that'll be 10 total lights counting the loft, plus 11 with the fan. Plenty of light for this room. All right, so I guess that means we're wrapping up this episode even though we didn't get fully complete. And realistically, I still have several more days to wrap this up. And by that I mean we have to trim out every single edge, trim out every single truss where the boards meet the truss. We're gonna leave the trusses exposed. A lot of people have been asking that. While I've got the lift in the house, I think I'm gonna go ahead and put a coat of Rust-Oleum paint, brush-on paint on all these trusses, get them freshened up, looking good. And I need to take advantage of the lift because once I get it out of here, it's never coming back in the house. So that means we'll go ahead and build a bracket and mount the fan after we get done with the wood. We have to trim the ceiling out. I mean, there's just a lot left to do. And if I have the lift in, heck, I may just go ahead and trim out and paint these windows right here as well. That's about the last of what I can think of that I need the lift for. So my plan was to try to jump on the flooring soon, but heck, I may be another week or so before we attempt the flooring. It is what it is. This has been extremely slow and time consuming. If I was working with any longer lumber than this, I would need 2 people on the lift to really trying to work all the bows out and get everything nice and tight. It's a handful to do by yourself. This takes quite a while, plus all the measuring, the trusses aren't straight, so you can't just get one measurement and run with it. It's more time consuming than I was thinking. But with that said, the end result looks so good. It is worth taking the time to do it right. Thank y'all so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. More episodes coming.